the idea of strength training, it's shifting, but it's not there. And I think that if you are a serious female athlete, strength training is going to be the game changer. It is going to be the reason why you are so much above your peers. When that person tees up beside you and they're knocking it 50 yards past you and they're hitting a nice little soft wedge and you're hitting a hard 8-iron, there's a big difference there on scoring. This is Lee Hargrave, Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist, former rocket scientist, and I'm on my way back to scratch.
This is Isis Hargrave, Certified OPEX Coach, Nutrition Guru, and I will be a scratch golfer by 2030.
And you found the enduraLAB podcast, where we dive into the science behind fitness,
the ins and outs of better health,
and lifestyle strategies to help you live your best life.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Well, today we have a special guest, Haley Vargas, Kansas State women's golf alum and currently pursuing her LPGA Tour card.
Yes, and her story is about patience, discipline, belief, and what it really takes to become a golfer at the highest level. And young athletes and parents listening, this is going to be powerful.
Absolutely. Haley, thanks for being here. Let's start it from the beginning.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
So let's talk about the beginning. When did golf first become a part of your life?
Golf became a part of my life pretty early on. Really just playing with my dad, messing around with the golf club. He played some tournaments when I was little. I was about 3 when I first started messing around with the club. Hit a great shot into our brand new TV. He was very proud of the shot. My mom was not.
Oh, no.
But yeah, he was like, okay, I got to get her some clubs. So then started playing my first tournament when I was 6. It was co-ed back then because there wasn't very many girls. I played with about guys that were at least 2 to 3 years older than I was, and I fell in the mud. And I wanted to quit. But honestly, it was a good teaching moment. My dad was like, hey, Vargas family, we don't quit. If you want to do this, we're going to keep going. And now I'm here. So everything worked out great.
So when did it shift from I like golf, like I'm playing with my family, and this is like a hobby, I guess, to I want to actually get better, refine my skills?
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. Like
Honestly, we kept, I would say probably about middle school-ish. Before then, we were playing tournaments and doing all that. We kept it fun, little drills here and there in between commercial breaks when we're watching cartoons, playing competitions for ice cream, all this stuff to keep it fun. But once I started playing golf with my other sports, soccer, basketball, volleyball, it got to a point where I was like, okay, I need to choose because this is too much. And I knew that I wasn't going to get a scholarship in basketball or volleyball or anything. So golf was my route for sure.
Okay, so primarily did you play to get that scholarship or you wanted to play golf?
So I always wanted to obviously play college golf. I'm from Lubbock, Texas, so I was around college sports all the time. We had season tickets to football games, all that. And it really hit me when I played an LPGA Pro-Am that Judy Rankin invited us to. And we played at Las Colinas, and we were basically treated as pros that week. So we got gifts, we got to go to the dinners, and I played with Cheyenne Woods and Angie Chung, and I was like, okay, I'm hitting it around them, and I'm only 15. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I can possibly do this. And I was like, if this is what every week looks like, I want this to be my week. Mm-hmm. So I really was like, hey, I want to get here. What do I have to do in order to get here?
How fun.
Yeah.
So would you say then high school is definitely the time that you realized it's going to take a little bit more than just range time and putting practice to actually get to that next level?
Oh, yeah, for sure. In high school, I mean, I only played high school golf for 2 years just because there wasn't really much competition in Lubbock, and we were playing shorter distances, so it wasn't really helping me when I'd come to Dallas and play all the ranked events. So once I hit my junior year, I was able to get out every other day at 2 o'clock, so I was able to do my own practice and really focus on travel golf, playing Legends, playing AJs, and prepping for those events instead of just playing little high school tournaments.
No, it's interesting because depending on where you're at, like you said, you didn't have much competition, and you need that to really make sure you progress in your sport, whether that's golf or not.
And I'm thinking, like, even as a parent of young athletes ourselves, it's like you're thinking that you need to make the majority of your progress in middle school, beginning of high school to even make it. But are you saying, like, it's okay to have waited or have that kind of what I think is a later peak?
You started at 6, though.
She did start at 6. But I guess, like, just experience-wise on different courses, I'm not a golfer. Y'all have to help me. These two are golfers. I'm not a golfer. But I think it brings hope to athletes who maybe don't make the team their freshman year, or that there's still a chance. I don't know.
I think a good athlete, depending on, or maybe a rotational athlete, could make the changeover as long as they put in the work.
Yeah,
right?
So I guess we'll get into that, like what it actually takes to get to that level.
Yeah. We talked middle school, high school. Let's jump into your collegiate career, obviously at Kansas State. So what was the biggest jump from junior golf to Division I competition?
I would say, for example, obviously the team aspect. So like I said, I only played on my high school team for 2 years. And besides that, everything was basically individual. So coming back to having an actual team, you're still competing individually, but your score counts for everybody. Making sure I'm putting my best foot forward in order for my team to have good success is really important to me. I know that a lot of times on our team, I'm like trying to push my teammates just to do better, because I'm like, hey, if we do better collectively, we're only going to go up from here. So that was a big shift for me, and learning to be a leader of a team and guide our team to our goals and figure those out for the season and really get a clear picture of what we want to accomplish as a team.
Let's talk about accomplishments a little bit. At Kansas State, you really excelled. Let's just talk about how the team did. I could go over some of your individual accolades. Being a academic, I enjoy that you were the Big 12 Academic Athlete of the Year.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, let's just go over some of those, and then we'll get into kind of the training and the background of that as well.
Obviously, like at the beginning, our team, we had really great players. We just weren't really collectively scoring well together. So we honestly didn't really have a team win until later on in the season. Like I was probably maybe sophomore or junior at that point. And I did have a coaching shift my last year, which was a good change, but we really changed our team dynamic and what we were going to shoot for. So obviously that team win came pretty early that last year. And previously before that, I wanted to win individually. So I got my first win in Philadelphia, which was awesome. Got to do that with one of my teammates. And then we went on to Bahamas, which was the real key point of all of us winning collectively as a team. And then I got the individual there. But it was a new aspect for the team because we hadn't won in a very long time. So we wanted to make that the norm going forward. And we're a team to contend with. So watch out.
Yeah. It's always interesting too. I feel we'll see it in athletics across the board, but even in the gym is the self-limitation. So until you kind of see the win or you see someone in your team win, you just kind of have this feeling of we're not winners, right? We're just going to go, we're going to compete, but we don't have a chance. And then you see somebody win and you're like, okay, there is a chance. So it's really cool to see that mental shift.
I feel like that's just the game of golf too. We were talking about that. It's like you could really be struggling out there and then you hit a really good shot or you get a win or anything. And then it's, I'm back in it. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's really good that you guys got that momentum rolling. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
When you got into collegiate golf, how did the training look like compared to what you had been doing, prepping for?
A little different. So obviously I attribute like our hard work and everything to like our family structure. So our dad always had us either working out or doing some type of fitness and obviously playing holes, getting a lot of reps in. So my training didn't really change too much. College hour or week hour is basically 20 hours a week. It's not really 20 hours a week. We always go over, but that's just the standard. So that really wasn't hard to meet. I would say doing classes and everything, all that in between, doing our volunteer hours, or if we have a special event we have to do during the day, kind of changes things up, or tutoring, all that. So it was just mainly about time management. That was a different change. because it wasn't like you go to school, then practice for the rest of the day until dinner. It was maybe you might have to practice before class, go to a lift, go back and practice, eat dinner, maybe go back, do some TrackMan later. But it was a good schedule.
Yeah. So let's go into, so people who are not familiar with the workload of the athlete, let's go into what your training every day kind of look like. And obviously we already have classes. Athletes had to keep 12 hours, I'm guessing.
Yep, minimum.
Okay. So let's talk about outside of the classroom. What did your guys' days look like?
Basically, we'd work out Monday and Fridays. And then Wednesdays, we would always do a yoga for an hour in the morning. So we'd strength train in the morning, go to breakfast, go to class, and then usually we're all at the course by noon. We either have qualifying or we have individual practices that our coaches split up for us, which is nice. We're all practicing as a team, but we all have our specific drills, goals, whatever we're accomplishing. We'll get that done and then probably be done around sunset, and then get dinner, go to night tutoring, and then wake up and do it all again.
It sounds like fun to me, but some people...
It's fun with your friends. With your teammates, it's fun. And I'm a person where, like, I want to know what I'm doing every day. So having that schedule, like, hour by hour, it feels great to me.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of what we love. You said you had a lift.
Yep.
Obviously, you and I have discussed this before, but let's just talk about what the lift looked like at the beginning and maybe evolve through. And then we're also going to talk on the recovery side of things. You did a day of yoga, but I want to know if there was any other recovery practices or talk.
We would always lift if it's off season 3 times a week, if it's in season 2 times a week with our yoga. But our lifts were golf structured. We're doing a lot of deadlifts. We're doing a lot of squats, some agility just to make sure we're good for those long tournaments and all that. Some core work here and there, but it's hard for golf, I would say specific athletes, because we don't have a golf specific trainer. Usually we have different trainers come. I've had about maybe 3 or 4 trainers throughout my 5-year career there, which was great. They all had great perspectives and loved them. It was just a little different. I would say my last year was probably when I got stronger in golf fitness, whereas our trainer already had the TPI certification. So he knew what movements were going to help us stay healthy, become stronger athletes in our golf-specific sport.
I think it's crazy that people assume that all college athletes have sport-specific trainers. But I think we were talking earlier, it's like at one point you were being trained by like a football trainer. And it's same with nutrition. We had talked about a thrower, and she was talking about how they basically create this nutrition for their football program, not for like their throwers and track. So it's like you have to take that almost into your own hands, which unfortunately we didn't know you before. Otherwise we would have been there for you, but you definitely came as soon as you could afterwards. So we're happy to have you.
Yeah, I think that is something usually in the collegiate sports world. You have baseball, football, basketball, and track and field strength and conditioning coaches. And then they're going to fill in, or you've got your junior coaches or interns or master's level trainers that are coming through and basically assisting and conducting a workout that's probably been written. And they are progressions, but depending on, we talk about this all the time, whether or not the coach has assessed, we have no idea. So it's just guessing. So even though it's a decent program, it may not be the program for you. And so with golf, that's really hard. And then we're just going to throw in female athletics. I don't know if there's a female specific strength and conditioning, like a softball. They're probably the baseball. Basketball, there might be, but it's probably shared, men's, women's. But it is interesting, and it is a disservice to, I feel like, female athletes and golfers that you don't have your own specific, because there's so much that you can do. Let's talk about
Recovery.
Yeah. So what did you did yoga, but I saw your hips when you first came, so there wasn't a lot of.
I don't really think it helped too much, but
Did you feel like that at least kept you somewhat mobile? Did you feel better afterwards?
I think it kept me somewhat mobile, and we obviously did yoga at 6 a.m. every Wednesday, so I was still a little sleepy. The lights are dimmed. I'm like, I'm in this pose. I'm about to fall asleep. But it was a good change. I will say I did struggle with some injuries, obviously, in college. I would do hot tubs versus the cold tubs. Love the cold tubs. They would do the heat laser on my joints and all that. So I was usually always in the trainer's room after lifts, just being like, hey, I need something worked on. Obviously, they checked on my back for my scoliosis here time to time again, or doing Normatec boots. We did take those my last year on travel tournaments, which was nice because that's after awesome. The 36 whole days, I'm like, yeah, give me those boots. Yeah. I need to recover. It was a thing where the recovery was up to us. So I tried to take advantage as much as possible. I think it would have been cool if they would be like, hey, if you struggle with this, let's really focus on doing this regimen. But there was obviously great tools there that I took advantage of. But
did the majority of the athletes take advantage of it, or were you the only?
A few of my teammates, a lot of my teammates didn't like the cold plunge.
A lot of people don't like
the
cold plunge.
I learned that I like to do it neck down, but I learned that for my joints, elbows, wrists wasn't the greatest thing. So they're like, hey, keep it waist down. So I've tried to drag a few teammates, just be like, hey, let's go do it real quick. Then you can shower, feel great later. But towards the end of my career, a lot more of my teammates were we'd always just meet up and do therapy together. But
yeah. I would say that's common too. Even in our gym and with our athletes, a lot of people don't know how to use it. We could do a better job at definitely giving protocols, but it is becoming more of a norm. And I think the athletes that use it more consistently do definitely feel the benefits of it. Isla, our daughter, loves the cold plunge. She loves it. Our son can barely put his toes in. And it's funny because Isla will play a basketball game or something, and then she comes home and I know I need to use the boots, or uses the Hypervolt. And I just think that's funny. Like, you don't hear a lot of 11-year-olds saying that. So that's great. And I think recovery is definitely necessary, whether you're a collegiate golfer to you walk your dog. Everybody could benefit from those tools, like you said.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that you said that people don't understand is how long does it take you to play 36-hole tournament?
Yeah, so in college and even now, like the only time I play 36 holes is if I'm doing like a U.S. Women's Open qualifier. But 36-hole day, you're starting at 8 a.m. and you're doing a shotgun, which means breakfast is usually 6 a.m. You're practicing from 7 to 8, warming up. And I mean, you're out there. Our rounds usually take around 5 hours, college rounds. So, I mean, you're out there and sometimes we're rushing to get done before dark. So the last few holes, I mean, you can barely see your ball and our coaches are like, hey, pick it up. Like, we got to get done. And you eat your lunch on the course. That might be like a turkey sandwich or something. Like my coaches, my last year, they made a point to keep our lunches consistent. So we knew what we were eating every time. They didn't really rely on what was provided by
that's huge.
They didn't rely on what was provided by the host team. They're like, hey, we know we can get this every time. We're going to keep it the same. But then you're done, say, when it gets dark, and you eat dinner usually at the course. It's probably 7:30, 7:45. You go back to the hotels, shower. You go back through the course with your coaches, get a game plan for the next morning, and then you're up at 5 a.m. again.
Wow.
Then you got to play 18, and then you got to quickly pack and get on the plane and get back to campus. So it's a real quick turnaround if you're doing 36, 18. I prefer the 18, 18, 18.
Yeah.
You're an ultra athlete, basically.
You think about the time and then the short turnaround window. You think like the Normatec boots, the fact that you guys had that was ideal because people don't understand, 36 holes, what's that? It's a long time. It's 10 hours of play, and that doesn't include practice and getting out and going, and so it's a long day.
Yep.
So you have a great college career. You come out, and it's like, okay, here I go, the next level. I'm pursuing that tour card. So what does your day-to-day look like now? You feel like you have even more time to dedicate now that you don't have coursework, or just go through what?
Wait. First of all, I'm not a golfer. So I need it explained that, yes, you're turning pro. What is a tour card? Like, is that when you start building your resume to be?
Yeah. And it's different for everyone, which I had to learn. Obviously, we're not like a basketball or football. You obviously get into a draft and teams pick you up and you sign a contract. For golf, basically the process is you call them and you're like, hey, I'm going to turn pro. You pay a fee. And they're like, okay, great. You're a pro. Congrats.
Okay.
Yeah. Good luck, basically.
Okay.
So that's like the process of turning pro. Basically now I can't play any amateur events and all that. And then you obviously have to go into, obviously you start basically back at zero.
Okay.
So to get to the LPGA, you either have to do Q school or you have to earn your way on. So Q school is a cumulative of 3 different rounds. You start in September and that's stage 1. So pre-qualifying. So you basically have to qualify to get into the qualifier.
Okay.
Stage 2 is in October, and then you play 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
If you make it past that cut, you go to final qualifying, which they just moved it to November instead of December. I think it's like the week right before Thanksgiving. And you play there. If you make it past that stage, you'll get your card.
Okay.
And you will be on the LPGA. But in order to do that, obviously you got to pay. It's expensive. I did pre-qualifying this year and just that's $3,000 just for the entry fee.
Oh, wow.
And you're not talking travel, hotels, food, all that. If you want a caddy, you got to pay for that.
Okay. Did you have a caddy?
I did have my dad.
Okay. I was going to say, could you
which
recruit
is free.
members? Yeah, your
You
family.
can. Yeah. Eventually when you get on the tour, you're going to have a caddy. That's one thing I'm going to have to obviously figure out who I want that to be. But
now the caddy position, is that like someone who is very knowledgeable? Because do they help you?
Yep.
Okay. So you like have to
They have
vet.
to know. They have to know you really well.
Yes.
So it's someone that knows exactly what your miss or what your distance. They're out there with you for practice. They are with you. They're like your paid best friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're best friends.
Yeah.
They are the best
Yeah,
friends.
most of the time, like if you look at most of the PGA Tour players, most of the guys that are their caddies are their best friends or they were college teammates or something like that. Or like I would say, give an example, Brooke Henderson, her caddy is her sister.
Okay.
They both played college golf, but she was like, hey, I'm good. I'll just caddy you and do that for you. So
And that's a lot of time investment. Like they said, they're practicing with you, they're playing with you. They literally can, that's their full-time job.
pretty much, yeah.
And it's your full-time job.
It's it's basically my full-time job to employ that person. But yeah, so there's a few ways you can go on tour. Obviously, it's a little cutthroat on how to get there. And I've obviously looked to my swing coach to be like, hey, can you give me some advice from your other players that are on tour, what their experiences were? Because I'm the oldest. I'm just doing this for the first time. So I'm fresh to the pot at it.
Now, with that, like you went from college, so that was more team-based, to now it's all about you individually. So how is that mental shift for you? You're going, again, like from that team to individual.
Yeah, it's a little different. Obviously, now it's basically like Team Haley. So really developing, and obviously in college you had your coach and your strength trainer and your nutritionist and everything else, and they coordinated flights and hotels and travel, whatever. Now that's all on me. So I have to coordinate where I'm going to stay, how long is it going to get there, if I'm going to fly, if I'm going to drive, and figuring out like obviously who's going to be my strength trainer, finding enduraLAB, getting that team situated, my swing coach with Joey, and then doing a putting guy and figuring out who's all a part of my team. I'm basically building a new team.
Do golfers have like agents?
They do.
Okay. Which is probably another piece of the pie. Like
yes. you gotta hire someone and fund them, pay them a fee for doing anything for you.
But you can do it by yourself.
Yeah. So as of right now, like I basically do all that. If it's looking for sponsors, doing that, talking to businesses, being like, hey, I'm a pro, I'm starting out, if you want to donate, all that stuff. Just putting out, be like, hey, I'm a local girl, support, all that stuff.
Yeah, I just don't think people understand when they see people at that top level, what they've had to do to get there. Yeah. And it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And a lot of girls, I know like our season starts April through September. And so they give us like a window where we're off season. Granted, obviously Q school is September to November now, but they give us a window to basically work and fund that money for our season. So a lot of girls have some part-time jobs that they work in order to fund that, and they'll still work during season. So they have to find a part-time job that will allow them to be gone for 3 weeks at a time, and be
Which
like,
is
hey,
tough. Yeah.
I'm going to come back, I promise, but I have to go play and try to get my card. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about enduraLAB. Obviously, we found you around the time of Q School pre-qualifying. How did you come about enduraLAB? And we'll talk about how we started.
Yeah, so I honestly was talking to my swing coach, Joey, and I was like, hey, I really need someone who can help give me a strength and conditioning program that I can work with. I was like, I need to get stronger. I want to gain some more speed. I obviously hit it far, but I was like, any bit that I can get better is huge. I had strength and conditioning programs from college, but I'm like, I want it to be tailored to me. We're focusing on Haley. How is Haley going to get better? So Joey recommended y'all. I came down and did some screening and had some green, had some red mixed in, but I felt so much better knowing that I had a program, had a team that's like, hey, we know what you want to do, and being golf focused. Like, you guys know like what we need in order to succeed. And it's not like I'm just going to go to a regular 24-hour gym that's okay, I'm just going to come lift with the guys and be doing some golf specific workout that like I'm not going to be doing the same thing they are.
Yeah, how excited were you to go from people who weren't golf specific to a gym that is? That's super exciting.
And I think that when you worked with the coach that was TPI in college, did he actually give you guys screens, or?
We didn't do individual screens,
Okay.
but most of our like pre-warm up, all that was like TPI focused. So we were still getting movements in, but yeah.
So yeah, we worked late September, and then you're back in town. We like to screen again, so don't think that once you get screened, that's over. We actually did it today, and so we turned a lot of reds green, yellows were green. I think the only thing, we got a little shake and bake in your pelvic tilt, but with scoliosis, that's hard to overcome. But
because when you made that original screen, you then developed a program.
Correct.
Yes.
So the way TPI works is you start with a level 1 screen. So level 1 is about mobility and stability. And we go through 14 tests, and that kind of gives us an idea. You get a stoplight chart. So reds are the things that we really need to fix. Yellows are the second in importance, and then green, you're good to go. So we don't even have to worry about it. So when Haley came to us, her hip rotation, lower limb rotation was really bad on external. And so backswing, downswing, there was a big limitation. And so today we retested her downswing is beautiful. I mean, you're way past 60 degrees, and then your backswing is at 60, if not just past. So that's a huge thing. And that's what's fun, is the hip is where we see the biggest difference usually between an amateur and a pro.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're able to get you now more rotation, especially when we're looking at something like expression of speed, usually the longer I can, or the more rotation I can get, it gives you more time to apply force to the club, which is going to end up with faster clubhead speed, faster swing speed, faster ball speed, as long as we're hitting it in the center. So that was really interesting. And then we always do a strength and power next. So that's going to tell us, number one, is the athlete strong enough? Pushing, pulling, legs. And if they are strong enough, now can they express that in power? So it tells us what we need to do as far as programming. Do we need to focus more on strength, or do we need to focus more on speed? So when Haley came in, the strength we had to get up, and today we retested a lot of the strength numbers. So that's up. I think across the board, the pulls were bigger. She had a huge increase with her leg strength. Grip is stronger. So we are on the right track, and we will start implementing. Now we're going to do power tomorrow, but we'll probably start implementing a little bit more speed. And I like to do that anyway as the athlete gets closer to end season anyway. Less huge loads, more let's get it fast again. So yeah, and then once you just kind of, everything's online, obviously. You came in, we did our screens, we kind of went over some movements, obviously discussed what I wanted to see, And then we've been working online ever since.
I like it just because we have a gym in our garage, which is super nice that I don't have to like go out to a gym and try to like work on like doing some like bench press and then, oh, I need to go do this as like my B workout and having to go back and forth. So that's been really nice of just being like, okay, I know everything in here is what I have to work with. And really just getting down to it, I can play my own music super loud and you really just have some time in the gym for myself. And I've seen a lot more increases in strength for sure, and excited about a new lifting pattern. And I'm like, ooh, okay, here we go. New one, here we go. And even if my dad leaves, he's like, oh, like he'll see a workout that I'm doing and he's, okay, that's probably why you got like stronger. That's definitely helping you. But it's been pretty cool. Like, I mean, I'll get my workout. It'll update me. It's like, hey, here's what you got for Monday. Gives me my warm-ups and all that, which is super nice. Get that done and then log everything in.
It's a super slick program. Obviously, there's communication on there. We can text back and forth. It makes it super easy. Demo with videos. And if there's not a demo, I try to shoot one real fast. But anyway, it's a slick program and it's fun because basically you went home. You're like, hey, I got this garage gym. And your dad came in with you. And so your dad and I talked a bunch at the beginning and super supportive. And I knew that this was a team that was going to work well. I didn't have a fear of, I'm not going to spend time writing a workout because they're not going to do it. Like I could tell the work ethic was there and your dad was a big supporter. And so when we started, he was more like, hey, what equipment do I need? Yes. Here's what we got. And so we talked a little bit back and forth, and then you shot a video of the garage. And so now everything is tailored to exactly what you have, working the movements that we need to work.
And it's fun for us to see because we know it's going to work if the athlete puts in the work. If you're consistent, you're giving us feedback, like it's going to work. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. So it's been fun. Like that's always fun.
We talk about nutrition. We're on chronometer, so I can see what you're eating. And so we've been working on that. Why don't you talk about the nutrition journey as well? We have some hurdles that we're getting over, food sensitivities.
Sure. And I've liked it just because I've become more aware of like, what I'm eating. And then if I'm fueling enough, like I know I'd reached out to you. I'm like, hey, I have some busier days. I'm burning all these calories. And I love the fact that it'll show you how much you're burning as well. And it syncs up to my Apple Watch. So I'm aware of what's going on like day to day, but track everything. I've gotten really good at knowing grams per like a slice of cheese or my sourdough bread. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like this many. Yes. Or I like test myself. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that one. But it's been nice just to see like what everything accounts for, or if like I go out to eat, I'm like, okay, this is going to be more, and figuring out all those. But it's been nice to just see what I'm consuming and taking a factor of, is this really going to help me? Is this fuel going to help me or hinder me in what I'm actually doing? So really taking a look at that, because in college we had a great nutrition PT where we eat, and they had breakfast and dinner for us every day and fueling stations at the course. But you had really healthy options, then you could get a burger every day. So I like it to where I know what I'm going to eat. I'm planning out my meals and being conscious of this is good fuel.
I think golfers get by on bad food, and obviously it's like you go to the turn and like an amateur or just recreational golfers are having a beer and hot dogs. That really doesn't fuel you. No. And so for you young golfers, it really is important. We talk about eating about every 3 holes and making sure we're hydrating. You don't realize how, like in the back 9, that plays a huge role in just decision making, whether or not you got mental fog, how well you're actually swinging the club. It's a huge role.
Yeah, when we're packing our lunchbox for our round of golf as a family, it's comical. Everyone's okay. You have your electrolytes. You have your protein. Is there like a beef jerky stick in there? Is there like, we have those yogurt squeeze packs, things like that. We have then, the carbs.
Trail mix, whatever.
Fruit, nuts. It's just hilarious. But we feel good. We feel fueled. And of course, we have the frozen Snickers bars and some other fun
every once
treats
in a while, you got to have some fun
in there. But definitely have the hydration, the protein, especially if we have a time where we play over lunch or we get there at 10 or late morning.
All right, so now we've discussed young Haley to collegiate Haley. Now we're going pro Haley. If you could go back and talk to your 12-year-old self what would you tell you?
I think I would try to, especially with the fitness aspect, really try to figure out a program. Like I did jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and all those other strengthening classes, which were great, but really figure out a program and kind of stick to it. We were always lifting, but I feel like I never really saw any growth because it was always changing. So I think 12-year-old Haley kind of getting ready to like go into middle school, getting ready for high school, really prepping to make sure that's good. And golf is all about distance and speed. So speed was good, but I think that could have been better with training for it a little bit harder.
And that's hard because telling a 12-year-old you need to be in the gym,
yes,
lifting weights,
when
is
I'm like,
really hard. You're not wanting to do that.
No, I wanted to go to my volleyball games and play basketball and be a multi-sport athlete, which is important. But I think my dad was like, well, if I had a third kid, he goes, I think I'd have it down by what they needed to do to get to that college level. Just trial and error for myself and my brother.
It's a struggle. Like as a parent now, like getting, again, that 12-year-old to do the strength or, that's why we do enroll you, and you're not my child, but like we enroll the kids in things that are fun, like that volleyball, like that thing, but we're hoping they get the side effects of the conditioning and the strength too. But I love that advice, and we offer that and we have athletes at the gym who are young, who are coming in and strength training 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah, and I think that female athletes, it's the idea of strength training. It's shifting, but it's not there. And I think that if you are a serious female athlete, strength training is going to be the game changer. It is going to be the reason why you are so much above your peers. If you want to just grind on the range, great. But when that person tees up beside you and they're knocking it 50 yards past you and they're hitting a nice little soft wedge and you're hitting a hard 8-iron, there's a big difference there on scoring. I talk to Isla a lot, my daughter, and I'm always just like, hey, listen, if you want to play, we're going to make you strong and fast, and we'll figure out the swing. I think people try to figure out the swing too much or spend too much time at the beginning when they're missing the stages of, here's the time you need to really work on strength, or let's get speed up. So it is a big difference between the way it's always been done and the way things are progressing.
Well, and I think too, like you said earlier, Haley, is like if you have your friends doing it with you, that would be ideal. Yeah. So we try to involve our kids' friends as well because, you're not going to the gym by yourself and it's not fun.
And strength training is not going to make you bulky. I think that's what everybody fears, or even parents fear. I don't want my daughter looking like a meathead. But what it really does is it makes your daughters resilient. Mm-hmm. It makes them confident. Like, I am confident in my body. I am strong. And it also makes you competitive.
Oh, yeah.
So what advice do you have for young female golfers who dream of playing in college or professionally?
I would just say, honestly, whenever you're playing out there, have fun. I would say sometimes I get a little too serious, and really it's not life or death. You're playing a game. It's golf. Really just enjoy it. If you're not having fun, there is a problem. And really take initiative in your training, whether that be on the course training, working out, your nutrition, your health in general. Really be selfish with your time in that. Granted, golf is a really lonely sport, and I am learning that the hard way. I like my alone time, but you're going to be playing tournaments usually by yourself, practicing by yourself, unless you have a sibling that practices with you. Just be aware of that, but don't grind it out. Just keep it fun, have some goals set, and have a good team that's going to help you reach those goals. That's really important.
All right, here's a good one since you also instruct. How about for parents? What advice would you give?
Yeah, for my parents, it's hard because your parents want to see you do the best. And it's hard when they see their kids struggle. For parents, I would just say be supportive of your kid. If they want to just play in high school and they just want to make the team, help them reach that goal. If they do want to play at the college level, then help them reach that goal. I try to look at it as I will help my kids whatever goal they want. If they want to play in college, great. Let's make a plan to play in college. If you just want to make varsity and possibly win, great. We'll make a plan for that. But making sure the parents don't put too much pressure on your kid. Make sure it's still fun for them. but depending on their goals, just support them in any way you can.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're listening and your daughter loves golf, don't wait until college to build her foundation. Strength, mobility, performance, and nutrition habits, they start now.
And we would definitely love to help. So from junior golfers, high school, college, pros, come see us. We'd love to help you.
Haley, thank you for being our guest.
Thank you so much.
We're happy to have you in town. This was a lot of fun.
Very inspirational for our kids.
That's right.
And me.
Yes.
I need to be a better golfer. I
learning
want
the
to
game
be.
of golf.
Yes.
And for everyone else, thank you for tuning in to the enduraLAB podcast. If you have a golfer or you know someone who does, forward this along. Until next time, keep moving.
Eat well.
And stay strong.
Bye.
See y'all.